So many of you asked me about my opinion about Michael Burry's recent tweet where he said, I am not short, although a week or two ago he was saying you have no idea how short I am. Well, first of all, I just want to tell investors something, that you shouldn't put that much focus on what Michael Burry is saying or what Michael Burry is doing. I noticed in 2022 there's such a cult following around Michael Burry. I mean, Michael Burry can sneeze and then every single YouTuber is going to make video, Michael Burry is short the market or the bear market is cancelled. We have a new bull market right now just because Michael Burry wrote something. I mean, are you really that emotional as an investor that, if he says something, although, no one is perfect, I mean, he can make mistakes too. But if you don't have your own thesis and you're relying on what Michael Burry is doing for you to, to do something in your portfolio, I think you're going to lose, big time in this stock market crash, because he could be talking about something else, other than the stock market. Or maybe he's just, trolling around. I mean, he could do that. Elon Musk do that. Or maybe he's just, talking about something else, or maybe he's wrong. But if you're basing your entire decision and panicking, if Michael Burry said he's not short, I mean, I don't know really what to say. But to be fair, I'm going to assume that Michael Burry means that he is not short in the stock market. And there's a couple of reasons why I would agree with him about not being heavy short in this type of moment, as I see a lot of signals that are actually showing that there could be a potential upper move ahead into the months of December. So I'm going to talk about the reasons why I believe he's not short in this video. All right. Now, the first of all, and one of them is seasonality. And many people talk about the Santa Claus rally. Although it's pretty funny in its terms that Wall Street uses, but it's actually somewhat true in the end of the year, and history really proves that since the 1950s, in the months of December, we had many more rallies than we actually had market crashes. But there's actually a reason behind it, and it's mainly around positioning among institutional investors. Many of them are sitting in cash, they are trying not to mess up their records, they were max short in the beginning of the year, they want to buy in the market, try to ride the market around in December, or some of them, they just, stay in cash, they don't really like to short, so they don't mess up their performers. And most of the time, this actually bids up the market into December, as most institutional managers, they show their performers, from January to December. And this is their latest months. So if you have a lot of short sellers that were max shorting in this, stock market crash, they don't want to risk it all in December. So they either buy in the market and ride the rally, or they just, sit on the sideline and don't put any pressure on any type of stocks. And you have other institutional managers who try to buy in the rally to somehow fix their performance. So there's actually a pretty decent reason around it. It doesn't mean that's going to happen. We had pretty big stock market crashes in December, but we also had many more rallies in the months of December. So that could be one of those reasons. And I know many smart institutional managers who actually don't do any trading in December. They just like to ride the months around, mainly from seasonality. But looking at the S&P 500, again, it's almost too perfect. I mean, if I want to draw a picture, it would not be more perfect than that. It retested the trend line again, which everyone is pretty much looking at, and then we're starting to go down. But I believe if this trend line is going to break sometime this year, I believe now is the perfect time to actually break into the trend line to the upper move. We did retest the trend line 2 times and then we failed. But if you think about it, everyone is pretty much looking at the same line if you go on Wall Street Bets or on Twitter. So can it really be that easy to just, short the market every time, it touches the trend line? I don't think it's really that easy. Although, yes, it has worked out for me personally amazingly well doing it, but it's just getting more and more popular, it's getting more and more crowded. So I believe if this trend line will ever be broken, that now is the perfect time to actually break it. Mainly as I'm seeing a lot of signals, a lot of things happening that I have not seen in the latest 2 times whenever we had the bear market rally and we touched the trend line. One of them is the price action in the dollar. The dollar has been crashing. It's not a good chart. It was going up amazingly well, as you see. I mean, it's a pretty big rally. But this is a massive, massive crash. It's not even holding up. I mean, the euro was around 85 or 86 cents. Now it's above 105, which is a pretty big rally on the euro against the dollar. Same thing with the Japanese yen. Same thing with the British pound. I have seen some of it in the bear market rallies where the dollar pullbacks a bit. But this is a pretty big pullback. And it actually might be signaling that maybe the S&P 500 is going to rally beyond this, trend line. Also, it's not guaranteed to happen, and the odds are better if you actually, short with some type of a stop loss whenever you get close to the trend line, as the risk reward is tremendous. But as I'm, saying, if there was ever a time to break this trend line, I believe it's now, mainly from the weird action in the currency market and mainly from the weird action in the gold market, and especially the GDX and those, gold and junior gold miners. They have not made any similar move in bear market rallies. Yes, they did rally a little bit, but this is a massive, massive rally, and it's really telling the market that the gold investors and investors in general don't believe Jerome Powell anymore. They don't believe that he was going to be Paul Volcker as hawkish as they're saying, and this is actually signaling a big change of trend in the stock market, where we could potentially break beyond this trend line of 4,000 and go pretty close to around 4,300 on the S&P. Again, I am not guaranteeing this to happen, and I believe it's an amazing opportunity to take a limited risk, unlimited reward type of scenario whenever you get close to the trend line. But I believe if there was ever a time to actually cross this trend line, I mean, things are lining up perfectly like I have never seen before in any bear market rally in 2022. The gold market is telling, the Feds that we don't trust you. We don't trust you. And especially in terms of the CPI that's coming up now in mid-December. If we do have a less than expected, CPI, not a hot CPI, this is going to reinforce the idea that inflation has peaked, that Jerome Powell is going to hike less, that Jerome Powell is doing the right thing. And what's going to happen? The market is going to rally, and no trend line in the world is going to stop this bear market rally. So it's a pretty dangerous spot to short, yet it's very rewarding. It's rewarding just because, it's hitting the trend line and we're on an inflection point, especially with the VIX, the way it's been lining up. I've been putting many posts on Twitter actually about that. But you also have the big risk of the CPI, where if the CPI does come, lower than expected, although I believe it's going to come higher than expected, mainly as the dollar is been crashing, which actually increases prices on many people. But let's assume it came less hot than it expected. We could have a pretty magnificent, again, another big rally. We could break beyond the 4,000 line. So those are one of the reasons why I believe Michael Burry is not short in December, but that doesn't mean the bear market is over. It doesn't mean, as much as people just over saying, oh, Michael Burry did this, Michael Burry did that. Well, where's Cassie Wood? No one's talking about her anymore, which is why I believe Cassie Wood and many of those ARK innovation stocks are going to make an amazing comeback, in the future. People are going to talk to her again, and they're going to trash Michael Burry again, just like they trashed him in 2021. And this is just basic human behavior, and typically if you try to do the opposite of the consensus, you're going to break pretty amazing returns. All right, now this is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please press the like button and maybe consider subscribing. So I hope to see you in another video.